you hardcore boxing fans out there, how are you doing? It's Big Porky here with another episode of Helmets of the Month. But I am still the voice of hardcore boxing, so we need to do a helmets now. All the votes are in and I am shattered going through all these because I can't believe how many people have voted for my mate Carl Froch, but he's just squeezed out the top 15. Eh? But if there'd have been a few more days on this, I think Froch would have been probably top 4 in helmets, but he's 16th, so he doesn't make the top 15. So how could I explain that to him, that you're on my helmets? But people only vote for Froch on helmets because they want to have a pop at him, don't they? But I don't know, I don't get involved in his commentating and stuff like that. I have had words with him in the past, but it's his own style, isn't it? I mean, who else can ask for expert commentary rather than him? He's got a great CV, hasn't he? But for those of you who've been emailing me, he's not in the top 15. But guess who is number 15? Mr. Tyson Fury. Now, why would Tyson Fury be number 15 on helmets? Why? Why would he be number 15? Eh? Well, probably because he's fighting a guy called Tom Schwartz. Let me say that man's name again. Tom Schwartz. Has anybody ever heard of him? Now, he's not known outside. He's not known to the man in the streets. He wouldn't be known to the man in the street at all, but good old Tom Schwartz is he's a boxer. He is a boxer, Tom Schwartz, and well, he's 24-0. I can explain it. He's 24-0, and well, if you say it, I'm just gonna get what's the word? You're gonna get hammered either way, aren't I? I'm gonna get hammered either way. So he's just 24-0. He's called Tom Schwartz. Now you're gonna have to duck on box, right? Because if I go on about it, your class is you're a hater, Parker. You're a hater. Well, I'm not a hater. It's just that I deal in facts. Now, Tom Schwartz is a zoomer. It's shocking, and after all Tyson's big chat about Wilder rematch, I don't want 40%, give me 50% and I'll fight you in America. Well, it is 50%, and then he goes missing 10 days, goes very quiet, and they signed to fight for Bob Arum, and then they're fighting Schwartz. Now, nobody can defend that, can they? The only people that are defending it are people like Stig and all his little gimp mates. And it's shocking. Stig's a gimp. He knows he's a gimp, aren't you, Stig? But he's a likeable gimp. But Tom Schwartz was a shocker. Stig knows that. He can't defend it. So Tyson Fury's record stands like this. World title fights 2, won 1, drawn 1. That's it. Boxing God 1-0 and 1 in title fights. That is it. So we move on, don't we? Number 14, Bob Arum. Bob Arum, the Bob father. Now, he's on this because probably, you know, he makes the fights, doesn't he? He keeps people away from each other and blah de blah, and he's keeping Fury well away from Wilder. Senamore, Bob Arum, the Bob father, he's done it for 53 years. That's just how it works, isn't it? That's how these people make a living. That's why they are multimillionaires. They're driving around in brand new Rolls Royces, you know, and I'm walking about on crutches, so that's what you get. So, only joking. Right, Deontay Wilder, he's number 13. He's fighting Brazil now. Wilder, obviously, in my opinion, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to come straight out with it. I think that Tyson Fury had some fist against Wilder, and he thought, God, if he hits me like that again, I might not get up, or I could end up like Adonis Stevenson, or he'll have had all sorts go through his head. And Wilder's thought, if I fight him again and I don't catch him, he could outbox me. So I think they both probably shit it and don't want to fight each other, or don't want to take the risk. So I don't think that fight's going to happen. And another thing as well, I think that Joshua knows that Wilder can do the same to him as what he did to Fury, and I think Joshua knows that Fury is more than capable of outboxing him. So as I'm looking at it now, I don't think them fights are ever going to happen. Only people you're going to see fight them are your Parkers and Dillian Whites and Brazils, you know, your guys the next level down. Them guys are only guys that are going to fight these guys. Now, Fury's not got a belt. He's won a belt in 2015. He had a bunch of them. But he's going to go into 2020, Tyson Fury, without a belt. But he's got £1 million deals, multi-million pound deals, so he's smarter than the average bear, isn't he? But Wilder's fighting Brazil next, and it's a load of old crock in it, and fans are ones who suffer. We suffer every time, don't we? I watched a podcast earlier on by a guy called Adi, is it? He sits in a green Shackleton icy Chesterfield chair with a bit of fancy writing on his white wall. Kid looks like he goes gym, a black gentleman with a beard. He seems like he knows his boxing, and I agree with him. It's the fans that suffer. I agree with Ultratech Sports Raw as well. I think that he makes some good points on this, although maybe Ultra might be a little bit biased towards Frank Warren and Fury and Ben Davis and that camp. Me, I prefer to stay neutral if I can. Might be a bit biased with Froch at times, but I think we all have a bit of it in us, don't we? But deep down, if we all have to ask ourselves if we're true to ourselves. So if I'm true to myself, I know that Andre Ward beat Froch, but I also know that he's a cheat. So, but anyway, that's going off at subject. Number 12, Matthew Macklin. I'm getting a bit fed up of Matthew Macklin now. Nobody dare say a word to him because he's got some mates who are OGs, but this is how I look at it. Macklin is the new Johnny Nelson at Sky. He's running around coming out with all stuff about Sky, and Adam Smith just loves the rawness of it. I remember Dave Allen speaking to Adam Smith on phone once, going on about all his problems and that, and Adam Smith were like, it's just so raw. It's the sheer rawness of it, you know, from a man who went to school at Eton and had everything done for him all his life. Well, we saw Adam Smith, didn't we, when Scott Fitzgerald had to put a towel around himself and he had no clothes on. We saw what Adam Smith were about then, didn't we? Eh? Good old Adam Smith. Good old Adam Smith. The original gimp, Mr. Bean. But Matthew Macklin, you are being moulded by Mr. Bean and Johnny Nelson into a Sky gimp. You're not the only one at Sky is being moulded into a gimp. I'm getting worried about Macklin. I thought he was hardcore, but he just seems to be towing the old Matchroom company line, doesn't he, and Sky. So, anyway, in at number 10. No, hang on, 15, 14, 13. In at number 11, Dave Caldwell Television. Dave Caldwell Television is now known as Dave Caldwell Television because he had a Dave Caldwell Television deal, didn't he, back in the day? But we all know it with a camera like mine on the tripod, beamed out to Facebook. But according to Dave, it was Dave Colwell Television in Rotherham Town Centre, a big massive sign. But it wasn't that, was it, Dave? Hey, all them investors who lost their money. One of them a pal of mine. 2 pals actually. Well, 1 pal and 1 pal of a mate. They were promised this and promised that. Well, Dave went on holiday with money. Good old Dave. Dave Colwell in at number 11. The man who said it won't go 10 rounds. That Anthony Fowler would ice Scott Fitzgerald. Only icy got to end at night with that when he put on his head. Snitchers get stitches. Remember that, Dave? Snitchers get stitches. Well, you'd know about that, wouldn't you? In at number 10. He's there again. You guessed it. Here's Johnny. Johnny's back. How many rounds did he have it to Anthony Fowler by? Oh my God. Let me repeat that. Oh my God. Johnny Nelson. Oh my God. How on earth he had that fight to Anthony Fowler? That was unbelievable. The man is a complete helmet. There's helmets and there is Johnny Nelson. Now, if we'd have had a few more days to do this, I guarantee he'd have been probably near at top. Sadly, with my mate Frotch, I've had quite a few emails in, people saying he should be helmet of the month, but too many of these were done in earlier that month. But a massive surge for Fowler before his fight. He only had 1 email after his fight, Fowler, but massive surge for him. But Johnny Nelson, you're number 10. You are a helmet, but not the winner this month. Nick Horlin, loads of text messages in. Nick Horlin, I think it's for his scoring. I don't know. Is he a DAZN pundit or something? Some of his scorecards are shocking. I don't know. Nick Horlin's one. If Nick Horlin had a job for Frank Warren tomorrow as a pundit, he'd be saying Frank were best guy in the world. If he's at DAZN, they be best in the world. If he's at Sky or Matchroom, they be best. Nick Horlin is like the John Rawlins of punditry. You know, like John Rawlins. Wherever he goes, he'll just big them up. Bit like Buffer. These are people with no identities. They're probably vegans as well. Because people who are vegetarian don't have an identity. That's why they go vegan. Because they're then known as, oh, it's John over there, but he just ain't normal John. You know, like John who eats a burger. You get there's 2 Johns in a pub. They go, oh, it's John, and you go, oh, the vegan, John the vegan. You know, a guy who goes to a local pub and he orders a vegan meal. You might not know his name, but you know he's a vegan. Well, vegans have no identity. Nick Horlin, John Rowling, people like that, they don't have identity, do they? But loads of emails in yesterday. Terry O'Connor, number 8. I've met Terry O'Connor a few times. He's the guy who gave Hughie Fury 2 rounds against Parker. We had a police escort out of Bolton that night. Terry O'Connor, you are a helmet. I remember you when Carl Froch knocked out Michael Monaghan and you tried to break it up as Froch were unloading on him and you fell, didn't you, and did your back. You should have got out of boxing that night. Please get out of boxing, Terry O'Connor. You are a dickhead. You are also a helmet, so piss off. Sorry for swearing. Number 7, Kash Ali. Loads of emails in the last 24 hours. What are you doing, Kash Ali, you prick? Biting people. Do not bite people. Biting is what babies do. Or crocodiles. You're not a crocodile, are you? Or a snake. Snakes bite people, don't they? That's what they do, they bite them. Strangle them, then they bite them. You are a helmet, Kash Ali. You had David Price on the hook and ready to go. And all of a sudden you decided to bite him and give him a way out of jail. We've now got to put up with David Price swearing at every press conference trying to sell a fight. Because his mate Bellew was telling him how to sell it. Telling him he's got to act out of the ordinary. because that's how Eddie wants to sell it. Now, if Price had knocked Kash Ali out in one round and put him in a coma, or I don't know, put him to sleep for a few minutes. No, we don't want no coma talk, but if we'd have comatised him for a few minutes and get him a big massive shiner or a big lump on head, we'd have all been, everybody would have been saying, that's because he's got angry. Big Truck got angry. Well, Big Truck's going to fight the White Rhino. He'll not be angry against the White Rhino because he knows he's a young lion. But Big Truck's had a win at weekend by default. So now all of a sudden he's going to go back to killing everybody in our beds. So Kash Ali number 7. Number 6 should be higher, but Eduardo Hearn, aka Eddie Hearn. Hair plugs Eddie. Eddie's going to be in it for the simple reason that, you know, he does 40 to 60 interviews per day. 40 to 60 interviews per day. He's fielding 200 phone calls a day. The guy is a machine, but he looked really tired at weekend, so I don't know how he can deal with all that. But some of the stuff we were coming out with, like David Price, that is the missing link. I love it when David Price gets angry. Everybody was scared. Pricey was saying all them swear words while smiling and laughing. He didn't want to kick off. He ain't got it in him to kick off like that. He's not that. Some people are just not made like that. And David Price, he's not made like that. It looked uncomfortable for him to be put in that situation to try and sell a fight. And you know what? I felt really sorry for him, to be honest. So anyway, number 5 helmet of the month for March. Frank Old Fish Eyes Warren. Now, why would Frank Old Fish Eyes Warren be number 5? Well, I'll tell you why, shall I? Why is Frank Warren coming out with rubbish, and I mean utter rubbish, about Tom Schwartz? Tom Schwartz is coming for it. It sounds like Eddie Hearn trying to sell Eric Molina against Joshua. Jesus. I tell you what, Coogan, I've got a squeaky bum with Eric Molina. He's really up for it. Of course he's going to be up for it on 600-700 grand. Jesus. Tom Schwartz is fighting Tyson Fury in America. For fans, eh, Frank? Frank for the fans, Warren. Eh? Unbelievable. Tyson Fury, the Lanil champion. Frank's probably getting all these votes for all this Lanil talk he keeps coming out with. It's a load of old hogwash. Do you know what hogwash is? When you put a pig in like one of them trough things, you fill it full of water and you wash them, don't you? They call it hogwash. And that's what it is, Frank. Hogwash. It's what pigs live in or get bathed in. Should be ashamed of yourself. But what can you do? David Price, number 4 helmet of the month. All the votes were coming in after the press conferences and this week, fight week, all the things that David Price were coming out with. They were going to do Kash Ali, they were going to smash him to bits and send him up motorway and all that, and he was treading in quicksand, won he after 4 rounds. And if he hadn't have fell down and got bit by that guy, who's to say that Price didn't grab him like that so he bit him? Because I swear to God, David Price were there for the taking. Dave Allen would have made a mess of him the other night. Bellew knows game's up. He couldn't defend that. And it's just a case of when. Now, he's obviously got something wrong with his fitness. He channels a lot of aggression into his earlier rounds, but I don't want to hear all this rubbish about if David Price hits you, he's going to knock you out. He's only knocked out 4 guys and they were all journeyman types, weren't they? Tom Dallas, Sam Sexton, Audley Harrison and that Bakavos or something. They're the only guys that he's knocked out. Sparko. The rest of them were like stoppages, the other 15 and that. But he's had 30 fights. He's not beat anybody above Audley Harrison in the rankings. So come on. Audley Harrison, Sam Sexton. Come on. We're not putting up with that, are we? I don't want to hear it. David Price, you're a helmet number 4 for carrying off like that and selling your soul to Matchroom and Sky and swearing like that, you helmet. Number 3. Yes, you've got it. You have got it. Tony Bellew. Not number 1, but he's number 3. Tony, I want to disappear forever off the boxing scene. I've changed my number and I've changed my name to Anthony Bellew. Well, you're back as Tony Bellew because we see more of you now than when you were fighting. You're boring and you're getting on my nerves. Your CV's shocking. You've got British, Commonwealth, European and a world title. They were all vacant belts. You've got 2 world title wins, Makabu and BJ Flores, and they've never been world champions. So how are you a world champion, Tony? Because I don't know. Yes, you've also got a win over Cleverly at cruiserweight, but he was a world champion that were upgraded to world champion because Jürgen Bremer were in prison. He couldn't get on belt on plane or something, or what he on tagging, and he went to prison. Now Cleverly's a light heavyweight champion that were upgraded to that status. He didn't win the belt. So does that win really count, Bellew? I don't know. He then went on to win WBA regular by beating Bremer eventually. So he's got a win over Bremer. What he regular champion or something? It's all a bit of a mystery. But your other world champions, David A, were held together by sellotape. David A's previous world title win was 9 years before, wasn't it? And 10 years before when he won belts. So Tony Bellew, your CV's got more holes in it than a Swiss cheese. You've done well, but you're carrying off like you pound for pound. You should have never have had all them pay-per-views. 4 pay-per-views for Tony Bellew had more than Carl Froch. Shocking, shocking, shocking. Complete and utter shocking if you ask me. But Bellew's always in helmet rankings because he's there or thereabouts calling for Kash Ali to be banned for life. But he doesn't say a word about Chisora, does he? Eh? His big mate Chisora who bit Paul Butlin, he doesn't mention that. But that's Tony for you, innit? Double standards, Tony Bellew. Tony, I want to get home to wife and kids. No wrong with that, Bellew. Tony, leave me alone. I want to be left alone. I want to be on my own, Bellew. Well, we're leaving you alone, but we're sick of seeing you. You're on Soccer AM, you're a pundit. You know, you're everywhere. Go away. Number 2, helmet of the month, Anthony Fowler. Now, Anthony Fowler's not won it, but he's number 2. Do you know why? All the carrying off about, I want to hate you. I'm going to hate you. I want to hate you. I'm going to knock you out. Well, you didn't knock anybody out. You got dropped in 10th round. You got dropped, mate. You got beat by 3 rounds and there were only 10. You got beat by, there were say 11 rounds with knocked on, 11 points. I had it, right. I had it 7-3 anyway, 7 rounds to 3, but you give it as 8, don't you? Because it's a 2 point. So 8 points to 3. I had you losing by 5 points, Tony Bellew. But Johnny Nelson had you up by, 3 points or something. So from me to Johnny Nelson, there's an 8 round swing. 8 round swing. Eh? 8 rounds. In a 10 round fight. That just proves that Johnny Nelson is going to come out with a matchroom narrative. Why have we got Johnny Nelson advising fans and narrating a story on night for Sky when he's carrying off like that? I don't know. Which brings us to Porky's Corner, pound for pound, helmet of the month for March 2019. And yes, folks, you have got it. The one and only spin doctor himself, Adam Mr. Bean Smith. You dirty, dirty man. Eh? Just tell us where the bodies are, Adam, please. Good old Rumpelstiltskin, eh? Good old Rumpelstiltskin. He's not only Rumpelstiltskin, he's now a peeping Tom. That's right. I'm Adam Smith. If you're listening, you're a Tom. You are a Tom. A peeping Tom. Hey? We saw what you were doing, Adam Smith. We saw it, Adam. And you need somebody needs to come and tell you that you've been rumbled. You have been rumbled, Adam Smith. You are the helmet of the month for Porky's Corner for March 2019. Adam Smith. So, anyway, that's about it, boys and girls. These videos should be out today, Monday. I don't know if I'm going to be going up to office today. I probably might go up to Den's office, do an interview with Tommy Frank today in Glyn Roads, and go up and have a chat to Michelle up there today, and just chill out, have a lazy day. I don't like Mondays. I normally like to go out on the sauce on a Monday, but I'm off the wagon. Well, I am after the weekend I've just had. But anyway, peace out. Keep on trucking. And if somebody's lost a grey, a brand new Next grey hoodie that I've picked up, thinking it's my Porky hoodie. I've picked it up. I don't know whether I picked it up or if I picked it up at Dennis's office or in Summer House up at Door, up Abbeydale Road, or if I've picked it up at I don't know, I've picked it up at the what's that pub called? That Sun Inn at York Road, Doncaster. If anybody's lost grey, I've lost my top though, haven't I? So they've obviously got mine, haven't they? So who cares? So who cares? They've got a better top than me probably, I don't know, but anyway. So peace out, keep on trucking, keep supporting boxing. It's still a fantastic sport. We love it very much. That's why we all listen to these videos that I do, and there's other good podcasts out there. Nut House Podcast, New Age Pod. There's other people that do great stuff. IFL are good, Behind the Gloves, Boxing Social. All these people give the time, you know. They all give the time to talk about boxing. That's what we like to do, don't we? I don't. Some of these actors on Twitter, I don't go on Twitter. Nicholas took password off me, so I don't go on there. I went on over the weekend on a blast, and then I don't know what's happened. So we just seem to have lost all our tweets, which usually happens if I get involved. So I get a beer down me, I start saying what I think, because I just see fraudsters in front of me in boxing industry masquerading as master trainers, when really they're not, are they? They're fraudsters. You know, you got all these trainers out there doing all these TV interviews. They need to concentrate on training the fighters, but anyway, peace out, keep on trucking. Alright, all the best. Shout out to South Yorkshire Packaging and Climate Cool Air Conditioning Company. Alright, peace out.